What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. We have a ton of new Dior makeup to play around with today. I have the new Dior Forever Skin Perfect Foundation Stick. I also have the Contour Stick. I also picked up the lighter Contour and Glow in number 100 Diorissimo, so we're gonna be playing around with that as well. And finally, I also picked up another blush and glow to demo for you guys. This is number 457 Doirette. I have swatches, I have comparisons, we're doing daylight applications, so if you wanna hang out with me today and see all of these new products from Dior and all of my completely honest thoughts, then keep watching. All right, friends, let's kick things off with the new Dior Forever Skin Perfect Foundation Stick. These retail for $52 and they come in 18 shades. The shade that I picked up is number 1N. I think it's a pretty good shade for me. You guys will let me know in just a second. The packaging is pretty nice. It's very Dior, it's very sleek. I like the little canage detail here on the cap. And I'm pretty sure that these are refillable because they do just like pop open like that. It seems like they're supposed to be refillable. However, I don't see any refills on the website to date, so maybe they're gonna be launching those a little bit later, but I just wanted to let you guys know it seems like maybe these are gonna be another refillable concept. If that is the case, maybe they'll come out with like some cool cases that we can collect, like all the other products that they upsell on the Dior site. And just taking a look at the description here on the Dior website, it says the multi-use Dior foundation stick that delivers a natural blurred finish with 24-hour wear and all-day hydration. The buildable coverage effortlessly evens out your complexion to reveal a flawless look in a single step. It says it is a makeup and skincare hybrid, of course. It says it gives you continuous hydration, soft, lightweight texture, yada, yada, yada. Let's get it onto my face so you guys can see for yourselves. All right, let's go in, friends. Once again, this is shade number 1N. I do have quite a bit of like breakouts and discoloration right now, so sucks for me, but good for you to see how well this covers everything up. The first thing I noticed when testing out this foundation, and full disclosure, this is very much a first impressions. I've only tested this one time before, but I am gonna share with you guys some of my thoughts. My first impressions were that, wow, it is like very, very smooth and quite emollient. When I take a look at the ingredients of this foundation, there's a lot of emollients. There's a lot of different like waxes and oils, and you can definitely tell as soon as you glide it onto the face. So you can see right there, like just how creamy it is, but it's not super thick. It actually does have a lightweight texture, as it says in the description. I don't want to put on too much because I think it's better to sort of show you how this can be built up. And as you can see, it has a very, like it's luminous and it's very blurring. That's what I really like about this formulation. I'm just using this brush from Refer. I'll link it down below. Actually, I have another new brush from Refer that we're gonna be playing around with when we get into the powder product, so stay tuned. But this one is really good to just demonstrate with this very light buffing technique. See how much that just blurred all of my redness? It's a really, really beautiful texture. And I'm just gonna sort of spread the excess there onto my eyelid. I would say this is about like a medium coverage. You can probably build it up to full, but because it is a very emollient formula, I don't know if you would want to build it up that much, okay? I will show you guys a quick little wear test clip here, what this looked like on my face after wearing it for a couple of hours. And what I've noticed is that it does stay very hydrated, but if you put on a little bit too much, at least for me, sort of gathered around my smile lines a bit. I have been having pretty dry skin around my mouth, so maybe just ignore that for now. I feel like on the rest of my face, it stayed very glowy, very blurring, very hydrating looking. I felt like it stuck to my nose, which is really awesome. But because it is so emollient, I would say try not to over apply it. Really try and not put too much here, like in the smile lines. And if you tend to get some natural oils coming throughout the day, I would put a little bit of powder on. I didn't, okay? But if I wanted this to last a little bit longer, I might put a little bit of powder on my nose. So it's definitely pretty emollient, but I don't think it feels super greasy and slimy. It is very much a hydrating formula. I think that with a foundation stick, usually the concept, the goal is to have something that's just very quick and light and effortless. And so I don't think it's really something that's meant to be this like huge, heavy, thick, full coverage type of foundation, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of adding a little bit here where I need it more, and then anything else, I'm just gonna use concealer. All right, so here's the foundation fully applied. Comment down below, let me know what you think. If you are new here, I do film in natural light without any filters, so hopefully you get a nice close-up there of what it looks like on my skin. I think it blends like a dream. I think that the formula, the texture of it is beautiful. Love how glowy and blurring it is. It just is quite emollient. I don't think it's like dewy or slimy or anything, but in terms of the longevity, like I said, if you're somebody that sees a little bit of like natural oils peeking through, throughout the day, I would add a little bit of powder. And then personally for me, I'm probably going to just kind of not apply too much right here around the smile lines, because I think it can kind of settle into there if it's not set with a powder. And with that, friends, I want to show you a quick side-by-side of this new foundation from Dior up against my favorite stick foundation, which is the Tom Ford Traceless Stick Foundation. Not sure if this is discontinued. It remains to be seen. Some people tell me it is discontinued. Some people tell me it's not discontinued, but I wanted to quickly describe the differences between these in the swatch comparison that you see here. You have the Dior on the left and then the Tom Ford on the right. I know it's kind of hard to tell in just like a swatch comparison, but the Dior one is definitely a little bit more kind of lightweight and emollient. Obviously the shades are a little bit different. Just kind of show you right here on my arm. And the Tom Ford one, it's very moisturizing as well, but it's just a little bit of like a thicker, creamier texture. I feel like this one you can build up a little more, or if you wanted to kind of use it to conceal a blemish with a more precise brush, you could do that. So see if I can just kind of like show you the texture right there. The Tom Ford, which I'm touching right now, is more creamy, whereas this one, see how it just kind of like shears out a little bit more? It's a little bit more blendable. I'm kind of thinking that the Dior might be better for those of you who have mature skin and you want something a little bit more lightweight. And then the Tom Ford, if you can still get it, I think this is good if you want to just get like maybe a little bit more coverage, because you can build it up a little bit more. So they're both nice. Time will tell if the Dior will maybe, outrank the Tom Ford, but at the end of the day, they're both good, but those are like the subtle differences between them. And by the way, if you happen to be enjoying this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Sophia and welcome to my channel that is all about having fun with luxury beauty. I upload new videos just like this one every single week. I do a lot of new makeup reviews. We talk about new makeup releases in the luxury beauty sphere, trends that are going on in the beauty industry, you name it. So if you love luxury beauty, hit that subscribe button to join our fam. We seriously would love to have you. And as a reminder, all the products that I talk about today, the brushes, hopefully if I can remember, they will all be linked in the description box down below, along with the shades that I use. I usually use affiliate links, so when you shop through them, it does support my channel. Thank you so much. And with that, let's get on to the rest of these new Dior products. Okay, so off camera, I just applied a little bit of the Dior Forever Concealer on my under eyes, and I also quickly did my brows. We are gonna get to the contour stick in just a second, friends, but before we do that, I wanna do a little bit of like an all over bronze with this new Contour and Glow duo. In my last Dior review, I showed you guys this Contour and Glow duo. This one is called Diorama. This is number 200. This is the deeper one, which I do really like. If you watch that review, I'll link it down below. But I wanted to pick up, of course, number 100, Diorissimo, and just kind of see how they compare. Now you guys can see right there, just like right from the get-go, the Diorissimo is gonna be a lot lighter, but let me show you a swatch comparison here in the natural light just so you can see how much lighter Diorissimo is. I also wanna point out that I think that it's a little bit more neutral in tone, and if you take a look at the swatches, I also think it pulls a little bit peachy. I'm gonna show you some swatch comparisons with some other bronzers in just a second that I think is gonna be really helpful. So personally, I would use the Diorama as more of like a contour because it's just a little bit cooler in tone and it's also deeper. Whereas I think that this one, Diorissimo, at least for me, is going to be better for more of like an all over bronze. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going in with this SOFIASEESQM V49, just kind of like your standard bronzer all over powder brush. And we're going to apply this just kind of like to the high points of the face. Now, could you use this as a contour? Yes, because it's not super warm, so you can. Or if you're someone that likes to do more of a bronzer, you know, by all means. But I think what you're going to notice is that this also makes just a really beautiful, subtle bronzer for fair skin. And some of the ones from the actual Dior Forever bronzers, I love those bronzers, but some of them, like quite a few of them, pull very warm. What I like about this is that it really is so subtle, and it has a really nice glowiness to it. Like not sparkly, but just really nice and glowy and airbrush, because it has this kind of baked formula made in Italy, where we get a lot of those like luxury baked products. So you can see there, it's very light, it's very subtle. A lot of my subscribers ask me, what is like a super duper natural bronzer for fair skin? So I thought I would just show you like a little before and after right there. And actually, I just grabbed a denser brush. This is the BK Beauty Buffer Brush, the 105. Why don't we just dig into this like even more? Let's say you were like, oh, but I want to build it up a little bit. You can build it up. You just gotta have to sort of grab a little bit more pigment. See how it pulls a little bit peachy, a little bit pink, which I really like. I think it's a beautiful shade. Comment down below, let me know what you think. I know a lot of you guys picked this one up, so I'm curious to hear like how you've been using it. But I was surprised when I opened it up that it wasn't like cooler, just because it said the Contour and Glow. Oh yeah. You can pick up a lot with the BK Beauty Buffer Brush, but if you wanted something a little bit subtle, I would go for something like the SOFIASEESQM brush that I just showed you. So here's that bronzer all over the face. Now what I'm gonna do is show you just a couple of quick comparisons so you can see maybe how the tone of this compares to some other popular luxury bronzers. Just to start off, I will do a swatch of the Diorama, just so once again, we can acknowledge how much deeper that one is. Then right here, we have the one that's on my face, the Diorissimo. I feel like that wasn't a good swatch. Let me get a little bit more. There we go. See how subtle it is? I like it. Right here I have the RMS Beach Walk Betty, my favorite glowy bronzer for fair skin, like really glowy. This one is gonna be a little bit deeper and a little bit pinker. Then right here I have the famous Gucci bronzer in the fair shade. Let's do a little swatcheroo of that. The Dior one is definitely lighter than both of those, even more subtle. I think it is not as glowy as the RMS, but a little bit glowier than the Gucci. And then finally here, I have the NARS Laguna Talc-Free bronzer, and this is in the lightest shade, which is Laguna 00. Let's get a little, oops, picked up a little bit too much on my finger. It is a very powdery bronzer. So I feel like it is most similar to the Laguna one, but it is, I think, a little bit more on like the pinky side. It has a little bit of pinky peachiness like these two, the Gucci and the RMS, but it's just like so subtle. I don't know, I think it's a really nice tone, but hopefully you can see from that it's not like super golden or warm, but it also is not gray like a contour would be. And speaking of contour, now I'm gonna be going in with the new Dior Forever Skin Contour Stick. I have this in the lightest shade, which is number 01 Light. I will show you a swatch of what that shade looks like. And of course, I will compare it to all the other ones that I just swatched on my arm in just a second. But I do wanna point out that the packaging is very similar to the foundation stick, except the contour stick has this cool kind of like matte black texture. And it also does look like these are refillable, or at least they're supposed to be whenever the refills are launched. So real quick before I put it on my face, I'm just gonna do a quick little swatcheroo right right here next to the other shades that we just compared. It is probably about the same amount of depth, maybe a little bit lighter than the Diorama, but it's much cooler in tone than all of these. But don't be afraid at how pigmented this looks, because this formula is very similar to the one that is in the foundation stick. Like, it blends out so nicely. It's very, very creamy. I don't want to put too much. It has a lot of emolliency to it as well. Just gonna put a little bit there around the face. And I do think that this shade is proper for contouring. It's actually cooler in tone. I don't know if I would put this like on the high points of my face, because I think it would just look a little bit muddy. See there? Like, it's got nice pigmentation, but just really beautiful blendability. I really like it. It's gorgeous. I am going to compare this in a second to the Westman Atelier. Don't you worry, okay? I know what you want me to compare. We're going to be doing that in just a second, but let's quickly blend this on my face so we can get a little chisel for this look today. I just like to tap in place so I don't really wipe it away, but I am blending any of those like harsh lines. So you can see that little bit of like chisel and contour right there. Comment down below and let me know if you picked this up and how you're liking it, especially if you picked up one of the other shades, because I think that those are gonna be way too dark for me. But if you have, you know, maybe a deeper, more golden skin tone, let me know what shade you picked up. Help us out in the comment section down below. And then, as promised, I'm gonna show you guys a comparison up against my favorite contour stick, the Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit. So in this swatch comparison right here, we have the Dior on the left and the Westman Atelier on the right. And the difference between these is actually somewhat similar to the comparison with the Tom Ford foundation stick that I showed you earlier. The Dior stick is more emollient, but at the same time, it's like more pigmented, if that makes sense. You get a lot more pigmentation from just one swipe, and then it just has a little bit more blendability, whereas the Westman Atelier is a little bit thicker, it's a little bit creamier, not in a bad way, but I think that it's not quite as pigmented. So if you want something that's a little bit sheer, a little bit lighter, I think the Westman Atelier might be the way to go. Also, the Westman Atelier one is a little bit warmer. It's not warm, but it's more like neutral, whereas the one from Dior, you can see it's a little bit cooler. So if you really wanted, you know, a bit more chisel, I would probably go for the Dior one. But if you want something that's more of like a bronzer, probably the Westman Atelier is the way to go. And lastly, I want to show you guys another one of the blush and glows. Of course, I had to pick up another one, so I decided to get this one, which is called Doirette. This one has a beautiful kind of corally blush, beautiful for summer, with this absolutely stunning, what would I call this? I guess rose gold highlighter that has the most amazing multi-dimensional shimmer. I will call out the fact that mine arrived broken, so I'm in the middle of, you know, kind of figuring that out with Dior customer service. So ignore that, guys, okay? They're gonna replace it or like refund me or something, but the show must go on, okay? It looks pretty usable to me. And to apply this product, I thought it would be fun to test out this new brush from Refer. This is actually a collaboration between Refer and a creator here on YouTube. I'll link her channel down below. Her name is Alexandra Anele. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that okay. You guys will correct me down below. She seems so cool. I had never heard of her before, but she has so many subscribers, and I watched her little announcement video on this and I was like, this looks like such a cool brush. As soon as I unpacked it in PR, I just knew this is gonna be my new favorite highlighter brush. However, it sounds like you can use this for a lot of different things. She wanted to create kind of like an all-over multi-purpose type of face brush. So it's a mix of synthetic and natural hair fibers. So you can use it with powders, with creams. This is the kind of thing that personally I would use for blush application and highlighter. So that's what we're gonna be using it today. And I'll just show you real quick, okay? Real quick before we get into it, the cool shape of this. So it has a nice kind of almost flat shape, and it has like an angle to it. So it just lands on the cheeks so beautifully. So this is what we're gonna use today. And this should be available by the time this video goes live on the Refer website. So I will link to it down below. The link is affiliate, so if you shop through it, it does support my channel, full disclosure. And with that, let's go into this gorgeous coral blush. Seems like it picks up pretty well. And I have another comparison with this blush, so make sure you keep on watching. Always gotta be careful with these coral blushes because I don't want it to be too pigmented. Ooh, I told you guys in my other review where I showed you the Diorama and the Dior Amour. Again, I'll link that video down below if you want to see the other shades, because I had the one with the light pink blush, or no, sorry, the lavender blush? Light pink blush, lavender highlighter. Get it straight, Sophia. Get it straight. I told you I really like this blush formula, and so I was excited to pick up another one. I think that looks absolutely stunning. I do. So good. All right, let's get it over here. And I was worried that this brush might be a little bit too small, but actually it's great because of the shape. See how it just kind of like splays out perfectly? The tip of it is very wispy, so you can always kind of turn it like this and then just blend away. Yup. I don't have a brush like this in my collection. I really like the Wayne Goss airbrush for highlighter, but unfortunately that brush is discontinued, and then every time I use it, you guys are like, where can I get that brush? And it doesn't have this cool sloping shape. So once again, I was really excited when I unpacked this. It's a really nice brush that fills a hole in my collection. Okay, so comment down below, what do we think of that? It's pretty buildable and it's not too much. So if you have a fair skin tone like me, I don't think this will be super overwhelming. Now let's go into the highlighter. Yes, this one is a little bit more multi-dimensional than the other two or the other three that I've tried. Yeah. I really like the tone of this. It's kind of like the Chanel Camellia highlighter in terms of the color, but it is going to pack a little bit more of a punch. These are a little bit more sparkly than those Chanel illuminators. Very beautiful tone, looks really nice, I think, with the blush and on my skin tone. You know what, actually on the other cheek, I think what we will do, just so I can demo all of the shades in this video, I'm gonna go back into the Diorissimo and I'm gonna show you what that highlighter looks like, because some of you guys were saying that the Diorama, the darker one, you thought that that highlighter would be way too dark for you, so let's try this one. This is more of like a classic light gold. I did put quite a bit on just so that it shows up a little bit more on camera. See, this one pops a little bit more because it's the gold, whereas this one, just because my skin is, you know, like there's a little bit more pinkiness right there, it blends in just a tad more. So let me know, which one do you like the most? Which out of all of these like contour and glows, blush and glows do you think you like or you would pick out? I would love to know. I think I'm actually going to just quickly apply some of these to the eyes as well. I'm just popping a little bit of the bronzer shade from the Diorissimo and I'm blending that into the crease, just like a nice soft kind of transition shade. These are so great to use as eyeshadow palettes, especially this one, like just perfect, like little neutral duo there that you can put as an all over bronzer, highlighter, and then a quick little eye look. Let's do the Doirette highlighter all over the lid, and this is an Isom V27. Ooh yeah. Very pretty eye color, just like nice and light and elegant. Putting a little bit of the Diorissimo highlighter in the inner corner here to add a little bit of brightness, since this one pops just a little bit more. I feel like it's a good inner corner highlight. And then I think I'm gonna try a little bit of the coral shade maybe on like the outer half of the eye. I have right here an Isom S33. So this will just be kind of like a very light pop of color, but like nothing too much. Just kind of blend that on the outer half. All right, and this is the final look. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I really like the way that it came out. I think it's super glowy, super fresh, and kind of neutral and wearable for summer. Once again, we have the Diorette highlighter on this side of the face, a little bit of a pinkier tone, and then we have the Diorissimo on this side, which is the light gold. Honestly, friends, I've enjoyed all of the products that I've tried today. The foundation, even though it is a first impressions, I've enjoyed it so far. I don't usually do first impressions videos for foundations, but just because we have so many of these products launching at once, I thought I would include it in this video just to kind of let you know about the texture, how it applies, and just some of my initial thoughts. So I will keep you updated, but first impressions are that I really, really like it. The contour stick as well, just blends like butter, and I really like the tone of the light shade. Not sure yet if I like the Westman Atelier or the Dior one the most. My guess is that I'll probably like them equally because they're both really good, but I do like the nice cool tone of the Dior contour stick. As for the contouring glows and the blushing glows, you guys already know I really, really like them. I actually love the very subtle bronzer in the Diorissimo. I think it looks beautiful. So if you're looking for something very, very subtle, highly, highly recommend. Just keep in mind that the highlighters, they do pack a punch. They do pack a punch. Love the coral blush. Love the Refer brush. This is amazing. Once again, I'll link this down below. Congrats, Alexandra. It is a absolutely beautiful product. And yeah, that is it. That's all I got, friends. I hope that you enjoyed this review. Leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts, or if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.